a strange video for me to do this, but and I'm doing it from the basement, and there's a reason for it. But the real reason I became a therapist was because of my nanny, who died of a heart attack when she was 65 back in 2011. Her name was Catherine Vaughn, and she's the woman who raised me. I called her nanny, but she's my mother for all purposes. And she had a lot of happy times. She loved to cook, and she lived as a preacher's wife her whole life. And she loved her children. And you know what else she loved? She loved her video games. That's why I came down here. Have her Final Fantasy VII playing in the back. She loved RPGs. I got her a PS2 for Christmas 2003. It was her favorite thing in the world. She was playing it the day before she died. This very game, in fact, that she played over and over and over again. She was known amongst my friends as the game-playing grandma. And she was really special in that way. But she also dealt with a lot of sadness, deep sadness, that was hidden from view. And I didn't really even know that or see it until near the end. Near the end of her life, she was quite depressed. And I didn't know what to do to be helpful. I noticed that she was very sad about a good friend of hers who had died. She said that she'd had dreams about her before she died too, which was a strange thing. But she was so upset about so many things that had happened in her life and how her life had gone. She was upset about the debt that she and my papa had accrued and how they had no retirement savings, and she was deeply sad by the death of her twin boys, who were her first children that didn't even live a day. And she carried that pain and talked about it her entire life, all the way to the end. I didn't know what to do to be helpful to her, and I tried. After her friend died, I came to her with my little book of poetry, and I told her I wanted to read her something from Walt Whitman, and I read that whole passage about the grass being the hair on graves, and it ends with that line. The small sprouts show there really is no death, and if ever there was, it led forward to life, and it doesn't wait at the end to arrest it. All goes onward and upward forever. I thought that was so profound. I loved it so much when I saw it, but she didn't. It just pissed her off. She didn't want to hear that. I didn't know how to be helpful. She was kind of snippy with my papa too. I remember one of those days when I was over there with them. He came in to the room. I was back watching some football or something with her, and he comes in the room and he says, "Hey babe, I just did the dishes." And she says, "Okay, thank you." He walks away, and she says to me, "He's so proud of himself." And she wasn't joking around. She was just being irritable. She isolated herself there in those last few months. She wanted to be left alone, and it was a great pain to me to see that. It was a great pain to my papa too. After she died, I found out from him that she had confided to him finally in those last few months of her life that something horrible had happened to her when she was younger, and none of us had known that, and Papa didn't know that either. And he told me that he asked her why she had never told him, and she was afraid that he would be ashamed of her. And she carried that her whole life. She also suffered from a special illness, I can't remember the name. It's something hard to say, but it's a rare genetic illness that causes these little bumps to grow on your skin. It's like an excessive growth around nerve tissue, and she was a beautiful woman. She was a beautiful girl when she was younger too, and those growths, I think, really hurt her self-image in a deep way. And it was, it's strange to me to even think about that, because, growing up as a little boy, I noticed those, but never really thought about them. She was my dear nanny. I loved her. And those little bumps on her skin didn't matter to me. And I didn't even think that they would matter to anybody. But they mattered to her. And she really struggled with that. So she really died in despair. And there's no two ways about that. That's the truth. And I kind of came to the thought that that's the worst thing that could happen to a person. Everybody gets sick and old. Everybody dies. You can't prevent that, but you can live free from despair. That should be possible. And but even though that is possible, if it happens, there's no coming back from it. There's no fixing that. For my dear nanny, for Catherine Vaughn, my old friend that I miss all the time, there's no coming back from that for her. And at that point in my life, I was 26. I didn't have a college degree or anything like that. I didn't have any prospect for what I was going to do. That set me on the path to trying to figure out how to do something more effective about that problem, because it was true that there was no coming back from it for Nanny, but there would be for other people. And maybe I could figure out some way to be a help to them and prevent that from happening in their lives. And that's why I became a therapist. Anyway, Final Fantasy VII really is an amazing game. It's got a great story to it. It was my nanny's favorite, and it's certainly mine too, or one of my favorites. This particular copy was my birthday present in 1998. And me and Nanny shared it, although she played it way more than I did. I hope that was worth sharing, and thank you for watching and listening.